Hey friends, this is Waylon Lewis. I am going to just do a brief video on the news today. It's been a little while since I've done a video, so apologies for that. We actually just had an older gentleman pop by the office here, and he was wondering what's up with the lack of videos. So he's a sweetie, so that kind of half inspired me. What also inspired me in a kind of negative way was the New York Times this morning. So just to note on the New York Times, The Economist is wonderful. Wall Street Journal, despite Murdoch buying it, is still pretty good. If you're tuning in, yes, like Kat, just say, hey, what's up? Just say where you're from, where you're tuning in from. Trying to give you a more interesting background. And maybe say how your day is. So where are you from and what's up? So the cover of the New York Times today was shocking, and I was just trying to give out shout outs to various journalism is now more than ever with the fake news and just, which is a fancy word for lying. We need to make sure that we're reading real journalism. So a lot of conservatives will say New York Times is liberal. What I would say is yes, the op-ed page overall is liberal, but they'll have Mitt Romney or whomever will write articles on the op-ed page as well. The journalism itself is actually just straight up journalism, and I think it says more about how the country is, how far the right, has left behind moderate rights, with whom I have a lot in common, that they now view anything sort of centrist as liberal. So the New York Times has an article today. I read both of these in bed, which I try to never do, and they shocked me to my core. So we all know about the Russian hacking, but what became clear today is that the Russians also hacked and around 12 key congressional races. So they didn't just attack the presidential election. So I really wake up today, not as a Democrat, not as a conservative, but as a American, feeling like our democracy in many ways has been challenged, has been gut punched, has been sucker punched, has been almost stolen from us. And I hope conservatives feel the same way. I know a number of conservatives in Washington do feel that way, and there's a bipartisan effort to look at what happened with Russia's hacking. It's shocking, and it's terrifying. I have grown up as a patriot, in history classes, reading about the Constitution, reading about all this, and it's so inspiring. And then you look at what's happening. So I'm just going to get into a few specifics so I don't just pontificate. All right, so these are mostly headlines, well-sourced journalism from my Twitter feed. I don't read liberal fake news. I don't read conservative fake news. I read journalism. And more than ever, I beg of you all to do the same. Find good journalism and read it. And we have to be awake to the challenges that are happening in our country right now. There's nothing spiritual about ignoring what is happening. What's spiritual, I think, is being centered, being grounded, feeling peaceful and loving, and being awake to what is happening. So here's a couple headlines. I just tweeted this a few minutes ago. Trump's new fake news sharing national security advisor shared secrets without permission. He did exactly what Hillary was purported to have done with emails. And he did it from within the Pentagon as well, making him a little bit hypocritical. There's a great article I shared about truth and lies in the age of Trump. He wins blind trust by lying so often that millions of people give up trying to distinguish truth versus a lie. I just remind all of you that the truth does matter, that journalism focuses on the truth. It makes mistakes, but it'll criticize Obama. It'll compliment Obama. It'll criticize Trump. It'll compliment Trump. Journalism is objective. It's not 50-50. The truth can be that climate change is real. The truth can be that the world is round, but it does need to be fair. Then I tweeted something about Zuckerberg as an enabler, Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook. There's a great article, Who is Responsible When Extremists Get a Platform? So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, they're full of division, they're full of hatred, they're full of lies right now. And we can do our part to wrest our country from the control of, say, the Russians or anyone who is hateful, and back to the kind of moderate middle of democratic, I don't mean Democrat in a partisan way, I mean democratic, loving, patriotic Americans by using social media. And this is what we train in our academy. If you're interested in joining, in January, a new session begins, elephantjournal.com/academy. But we can begin to wrest control from the haters, from the liars, by only sharing good journalism and only reading good journalism. So what came clear in the head of the front page of the New York Times today is that a scandal, say 10,000 times bigger than Watergate. Watergate, which resulted in the resignation of President Nixon. Watergate was an attempted burglary that failed of about one file drawer in the Democratic National Headquarters. What the Russians did was, if you stacked all the papers, it would go halfway to the moon. So it's literally, 10,000 times bigger than Watergate, what has just happened. This is not news that I can recover from. Whether I was a Trump fan or a liberal or what have you, a normal Republican, I would feel right now like my democracy just got violated. All right, here's another, this is on hate speech, a Broncos player. I'm a Broncos native here in Boulder. A Broncos player just got a racist threatening letter. This is in the context of the amount of hate speech that has been going on, or hate crimes before and after the election. The nation has been really kind of encouraged and engendered toward hate. The Arctic, let's keep our eye on the ball. The Arctic, which will affect all of us, climate change will affect all of us, is heating up at twice the rate as the rest of the globe. And I also shared, I think it's on my fan page on Facebook, facebook.com/Waylon H. Lewis, the list of ways that climate change will affect all of us. So it's not just rising sea levels. That's one of many, many, many ways. So I put up a list. The Energy Department, which is now headed by Rick Perry, who's an idiot, and I say that in a bipartisan way. Republicans reviled him when he ran for president. He's infamously said he would get rid of 3 departments. I think he said education, he said environment, and then he said, I can't remember what the third one is. And that was the end of his election. So he's now in charge of that one that he couldn't remember, which is energy. And energy is also in charge of our nuclear program. So a guy who couldn't remember the name of a agency in government is now the head of that agency, and he's vowed to destroy it, Rick Perry. So even before January 20th, when Trump comes into office, they have asked the Energy Department to create a list of names. This is like straight out of Joe McCarthy, of people who have attended climate change meetings. So I tweeted a suggestion that the Energy Department should pull an I Am Spartacus and give them every single name in the department. All right, so Trump's National Security Advisor, Michael T. Flynn, a loud fake news tweeting critic of Hillary, has been drawing a lot of complaints for disclosing classified material while in the Army, including in the Pentagon. The hypocrisy is astounding. And if we really cared about Hillary's emails, all Trump fans right now would be upset at Michael Flynn, would be tweeting about it, would be Facebooking about it. So if you care about Hillary's emails, you should be outraged by Michael Flynn, right? No? Nothing? Trump Nation apparently is hypocritical. All right, but we're only halfway through. All right, so there's a great list of people Trump has been complimenting. Putin, Duterte, who has bragged about killing suspects, not criminals, not convicted criminals, but suspects with his own hands. He's bragged about this. So we got, I think we have a visitor, maybe? So we have Duterte, we have Putin, and we have Erdogan of Turkey. These are all people that Trump has complimented. And remember Tiananmen, that great example of democracy in action, when Chinese students rose up in support of a fair and democratic China, and it got brutally suppressed. Trump called that a riot, and he expressed admiration for the strength of the Chinese government. This man is not a Democrat, folks. He's not a Democrat, he's not a Republican, and he doesn't particularly even believe in democracy. And he's now our president. He loves his authoritarian strongmen because that's what he's going to try to be as president. I'll read that again. This is not my quote. He loves his authoritarian strongmen because that's what he's going to try to be as president. So remember how Florida banned the term climate change in the government? So no government official is allowed to use the term climate change. Also, sustainability got banned. This is a democracy, folks, or a so-called democracy. Well, scientists are now frantically copying U.S. climate data, fearing it might be deleted or vanished or destroyed by the Trump presidency. That's another article. And this is all real journalism. I refuse to read. I criticize my liberal friends when they share blogs that are crazy liberal sites. Crazy liberal fake news, crazy conservative fake news, it's all fake. It's all lying. I don't support either of it. We're only halfway through. I woke up this morning feeling gut punched. I love America. I love democracy. I would support any conservative president who is a moderate, who respects science, who respects education, who doesn't want to get involved in needless foreign wars. And frankly, that would describe half of the Republican presidents we've had. I do not support Donald J. Trump. And what truly shocked me today was the revelations that something 10,000 times bigger than Watergate just happened, and it seems like no one cares. Why does no one care? Because we're now in this social media world where truth doesn't particularly matter. Everything is seen as partisan. I literally just shared on Instagram.com/elephantjournal and Instagram.com/Waylon Lewis a funny, meaningful meme, right? My dog is flipping out. I shared 2 funny memes, and then in the caption I said, all we pay attention to now is memes. While the country goes to hell, we just focus on memes, whether they're hate memes, political memes, cute memes, spiritual memes. All we care about is funny images. We're like little babies in social media with little a mobile, or like when your parents try and get you to eat, except we're being force-fed stuff that isn't good for us. So I shared those memes up, and then I captioned I criticized it, and you know what? Dozens of people commented saying, oh my God, that's the funniest image, and tagged their friends. There wasn't a single response in either Elephant Journal, where we have nearly 500,000 followers, so a lot of responses. There wasn't any response to my caption. We are a captive. We are being used by Facebook. We are being used by Twitter. We are being used by Instagram for their profitable ends. So in conclusion, Elephant Journal is creating its own algorithm, its own social media network called the ecosystem. We're only halfway through. We have almost no money to do it with. If you want to support us to doing it, you can just read Elephant. Every time you read Elephant or any journalism site that could be far better than Elephant, you're supporting truth. So support independent media, support independent journalism. Every time you read them, you are supporting a better world. And again, journalism can criticize liberals, journalism can criticize conservatives. It can complement liberals, it can complement conservatives. It doesn't matter. What matters is the truth. So we're creating this ecosystem. If you'd like to subscribe to Elephant, that will be what will help us get there. We're about halfway through. It was supposed to be done in January, and of course, like the construction of any house, it's a couple months late, and it'll be done in January, February, March, and it'll probably be done after that, but it'll be done March 1st is the deadline right now. So if you want to support that, elephantjournal.com/read is our subscription link, elephantjournal.com/read. And if any of you have appreciated this video, I am just shocked today. I'm horrified. I'm devastated. I'm depressed. But I'm also angry. And I'm not angry out of hate. I am angry out of love. I love democracy. I love the rights of human beings to govern themselves and try to create a more and more enlightened society. And I do feel like that's the track we've been on in some ways over the past decade or two. That overall gay rights, overall women's rights have improved. Overall, we have begun, if only recently with the Paris Agreement, to regard climate change as something we need to deal with. So please join me. Someone put that link in the comment, elephantjournal.com/read, and let's create a better society. Beginning January 20th, we are going to see all the institutions of power, journalism, the House and Senate, which were already hacked by the Russians and 12 key races were targeted. Please read the cover of the New York Times today. Read both of those articles, and I think you'll be as horrified and shocked. I don't want to move to Canada. I'm not one of those I can't stand people like that. I love this country. I will stand and I will fight with love and peace. But I am horrified, and I hope all of you will join me in being concerned and loving about what we have and what we stand to lose. So thank you so much. And if you want to subscribe to these videos, you can get notifications after I hang up. There will be a big button right here. And if you want to subscribe on our YouTube channel.com/elephantjournal, please do. But none of this is a business concern. This is, we are seeing democracy, whether you're a conservative or a Democrat, violated. Thank you so much. Big love to all of you.